Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So yeah, as you probably deduced from reading the title, I didn't manage to get any content from Eurogamer, none at all, and I'm really bummed out about it. But I'll be damned, I did manage to go there, and I've got a bit of a story about it. So I'll be damned if I don't do a video about Eurogamer anyway, talking about my impressions, I guess, for those of you who are interested in why I never managed to get anything when I really had my heart set on doing it, but it just didn't work out. So, and in the background here, oh no, we don't want the Forum Highlands. We're going to be in Vabi, and I'm not actually going to read out any quest text, so you can pause the video if you want. But if you remember when I was in Nightfall, I talked about one last area with some quests to do with the Master of Whispers there, out in these mines, these Vengeance mines. So I'll just be doing that in the background. I don't know how far I'll get. I might not finish it while I'm talking, but yeah. So we'll be going out there, just so you guys can see it, because I wanted to put obviously some footage on the background, since I don't have any Guild Wars 2 footage. The first game we'll have to do. So yeah, where do I really begin? So basically, I've got a really crappy handheld camera. If I was going to get footage from Eurogamer, I would have to do probably what most people do, which is just film the screen. My camera is really bad, but I did bring it in any case, and I also brought a tripod with me, hoping that, you know, that at least that would mean it wouldn't be shaky cam if I had to do the camera. But there's another thing that I could do, and obviously you can get really good quality stuff just using fraps. Now, fraps is something that I'd always wondered why people never used when they went to these places. I remember when at the first, and you'll have to excuse my cough, I remember at the first Gamescom that they went to and had the Guild Wars 2 demo, a couple of people said that they might have tried it, but ArenaNet didn't let them. However, there's been a lot of conventions since then, and a couple of people I know have got direct feed footage of it, and I didn't know whether it was fraps or not. So a few days before Eurogamer happened, I decided I was going to ask one of these people that had managed to get direct feed footage, were this really good basically coverage site called War Tower. You might have seen their stuff. So I spoke to a guy there called 4Variety. He's helped me with a few of my videos before, like the no subscription fee one was basically inspired by one of his posts on Guild Wars 2 Guru. Oh god, I'm going to have to cut all of these coughs out. But yeah, so I got to speaking to him, and I asked him, hey, how did you guys manage to do this? Because they've got some really good direct feed stuff coming out. And I spoke to him, and it turns out basically they hadn't used fraps, they'd used something else. It's like this special camera, this special piece of kit that could record and monitor in direct feed. But he did say that everyone was really accommodating. He couldn't see any reason why, if they let him have direct feed footage, ArenaNet wouldn't let anyone else do it, and that if I brought my hard drive, I could probably get away with it if I asked them and was nice enough. So I figured, you know what, why not? So I brought my camera as a backup, I brought my tripod for the camera, and in the morning I didn't actually have a hard drive anymore because it broke a while ago, so I went to PC World and bought a terabyte hard drive from PC World, which was about 50 quid or something, but you know, that was fine. I'll use it later anyway. So I had it all in my bag, I had it all ready. You know, the hard drive needed a power supply as well, which I was a little bit worried about, but turns out it seemed okay. Basically, when I got there, I spoke to Colin Johansson, which was really weird, by the way, because, you know, I've seen a lot of videos of this. This is the lead content developer, I think, at ArenaNet. Basically, he's done loads of interviews. You know, everybody loves his smile and stuff. You know, he's just a pretty cool guy. And basically, I said to him, hey, look, I really want to get this footage off. I want to do fraps. Do you think it would be okay? And basically, he pointed me in the direction of a guy from NCSoft, a tech guy from NCSoft. This guy was called Gordon. And Colin said, I'm the worst person to speak to about using fraps. Why don't you go speak to this Gordon guy and see if he says yes? So I'm like, all right, cool. Okay, well, we'll go find this Gordon. So I go over to Gordon and I say, oh, hey, look, Colin Johansson sent me. Can I use fraps on one of your machines? Would that be okay? And the guy thinks for a bit, and you know, I sweet talk him a bit. I joke about cleaning his shoes, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, fine." And he actually says yes. So we're like, "Oh wow, we're actually getting in there. We're doing this." So I went to the convention with my brother, by the way, who doesn't know anything about Guild Wars 2. I don't know whether he was really the best company to go with, but there you go. So yeah. It was all going great. Basically, Gordon said yes. He said just find a place in a queue. You can get to one of the demos, then come find me, and give me the hard drive. I'll go plug it in. I had a copy of fraps on the hard drive, so all he had to do was install it. He went down the back, it all got plugged in. Another NCSoft guy came over after I'd found Gordon and got at the demo booth, and he said, look, this guy will have to stay with you while you're playing the game, just to be sure that, you know, I'm not doing anything malicious with the hard drive. You know, the only thing on the hard drive was the copy of Fraps and 2 previous Guild Wars videos that I'd filmed just to make sure I could record to the new external hard drive fine. But yeah, so we had this guy over. Gordon came up, he installed Fraps, everything was going well. We loaded the client, and it was on character creation screen. Those of you who use Fraps know that it gives you obviously an FPS counter, and it was at like 400 FPS. We weren't recording just yet, but it was at like 400 FPS on the character creation screen. We were all joking about it. Everyone was really nice. I got to the keyboard, basically just about got the mouse in my hand, and then Martin Kirstein came running over, just basically shouting, no Fraps, no Fraps, no Fraps, no Fraps, which, you know, was a real bummer. So he came over, and Gordon said to Martin, well, hold on, this guy said he came to me from Colin Johansson. I thought it was okay. So Martin's like, oh, right, that doesn't sound right. So he walked off to Colin, but of course when he went to Colin only said, oh no, I just sent him to Gordon to see if it was okay. So, not that Colin had actually said yes to me, if this isn't getting too confusing for you guys. So Martin came back, having spoken to Colin, who hadn't given a definitive yes, and just started saying, no, you're not allowed to do it, no, that you can't use Fraps. And if you follow this story, I can't see a real reason why they're saying no here. Someone else, other people have got direct feed footage, War Tower, so I was kind of taken back, and I said, well, hold on, what about other people who've got direct feed footage? What's wrong with me using Fraps here? Nobody seemed to have a reason for no. You know, like Colin said he was the worst person in the world to speak to, and yet Martin seemed to think that Colin was the person who had the right to say yes or no about it. Do you know what I mean? And Gordon didn't seem to know. He was just going on to someone else. So I said, well, I said to Martin, well, what's the big problem with Fraps? You know, other people have got direct feed footage. What about War Tower? And his reason for that was, he said, yeah, well, War Tower were here 2 hours before. They did it at Gamescom, I think. And he said, oh, well, War Tower were here 2 hours before the convention started at Gamescom. And to me, that's not a reason to me. That kind of just sounds to me... Don't get me wrong here. I'm probably sounding really negative. Everyone was really friendly. And, you know, they weren't being mean at all, really. But it's not a reason. It just kind of sounded like they were favouring War Tower and saying, oh, yeah, they could do this special thing because they're professionals, and, you know, as if like they care more about the game or something, and just because I'm just a random fan out there that had a quicker way of doing it, you know, I wasn't allowed to do it. So I didn't actually push that anymore. I didn't want to start challenging Martin and saying, oh, blah blah blah. So I just said fine, and then I couldn't use Fraps basically. So they all left. I know that everyone was just doing their jobs. Martin probably did have a real reason. I'm guessing someone higher up didn't want it to happen. I don't know why they wouldn't, not if they'd allowed direct feed footage elsewhere. At the time, I was just a bit, you know, it's quite weird speaking to these people, you know, after you've seen so many interviews and, you know, talked to them online for so long and stuff. So I was just a bit taken aback, and I didn't really process it. So then I was just sort of sat there. Gordon took it all away, and I was just kind of left there with a 40 minutes where I couldn't really do anything. So yeah, then of course you've got the camera as well. So I thought, right, well, for God's sake, I need to get some footage. That's completely fallen apart, and I don't know why. I got the camera out, put it on the tripod. Turned out that the monitors were too high up for the tripod. It's a very crappy tripod and a very crappy monitor. I could barely see a thing. And I was going to leave it on there, but then like the screen started bugging up as well on my camera. So, and then at that point, I've got to be honest with you guys, I was feeling a little bit sour about the whole Fraps thing, and just a bit annoyed. So I just thought, I'll forget it. Don't just ignore it, especially with the camera then messing up like that. Because the quality would have been so bad. I don't know what I could have offered you that hundreds of other people haven't already given you. From, you know, having a shaky camera there. So I figured, you know what, screw it. And it didn't really hit me until a bit later. Like, I was sat there playing the demo, and I was just thinking about what had happened. I was thinking, oh man, that's... And, you know, I'm not annoyed with the employees or anything. It's just, I think what depresses me most is that sort of, you know, like, Martin's a really cool guy, but the only time he's ever spoken to me, he was kind of, I don't want to say shouting at me, but, you know, a switch had flipped, and he kind of thought that I was trying to pull one over on everyone. Because everyone seemed to think that I just got sort of slipped through these cracks and sort of wormed my way there, as if I knew I shouldn't really be doing it, which wasn't the case at all, you know. Yeah, but don't get me wrong, everybody was very friendly and nice, but, yeah. I just felt like I was... being treated like I was a bit of a troublemaker, really, which wasn't too nice considering, you know, I like all these people quite a lot. But yeah, there you go. That's why I don't have any content. The train ride home was really annoying. I was just like, oh man, it's all that preparation and then just nothing came of it. So I'm very sorry, guys. If you're frustrated, I'm 20 times more. It just didn't go too well. But okay, enough of that. That did have me leaving the convention feeling a bit sour, but I did get to play the game. You know, I've been doing these videos for over a year now. I've been on the forums for about 3 years now, and I finally got to play the game, and it was everything I thought it would be, and more. You know, I kind of feel a bit weird saying it, but I'm at the point where I've seen so many videos of the gameplay. Actually playing it myself, the only real thing that I learned was how weird it was sort of using WASD to move while trying to use the numbers to cast your skills and continue moving at the same time. It's kind of hard. It's a bit weird getting used to it, but yeah, the game was great. I played the demo twice and watched my brother play it once. So first time I managed to play it, I let my brother go on first, and he played a low-level Norn guy. And basically I was sitting there the whole time. Like I say, he didn't know anything about the game. He was playing a Norn warrior. He always kind of goes warrior. He's one of those people. And I was just sitting there sort of explaining all the core philosophies behind the game, giving him tips, telling him what the different hotkeys were, where he should go, who to speak to, all this kind of stuff. And it's quite funny. I didn't realise I'd been talking so much, but then there were like 2 guys in the row behind us, and they were like, oh, sorry, do you work for the game? And I'm like, no, I'm just a big fan. Which, thinking back, I'm like, oh my god, I must have been talking a hell of a lot about all this stuff I know about the game. And yeah, we got talking to those guys quite a lot. And yeah, so then it was my go, and I'd just seen him. My original plan was to always play a starting character first because it would ease me into the controls. I'm kind of the persuasion that no matter how much you know about the game, you shouldn't be jumping into the high level demo straight away, really, especially if you know nothing about the game, because you're just going to get swamped and the gameplay is going to look bad, especially if you're filming it, and it could come off for the worst. In fact, somebody else was filming it when my brother was playing. There was this other guy, I don't know who he was. He was like quite a short guy. I don't know how old he was. He looked really young. I don't know whether it was just because he was a short guy. But he had like a really professional camera, a really professional microphone and stuff. And he was like doing live recording commentary. And my brother was like in the video when he was killing the worm at the start. I don't know who that was. It must be some other big YouTuber, but I've got no idea who it was. But yeah, anyway, I am of that persuasion, but I had just seen my brother play a low level, so I decided, you know what, screw it. So I decided, my god, I'm coughing so much. I decided, screw it, I will play a high level Asura, and that was really fun. I didn't really learn that much more than what I'd seen. I did find a jungle worm, which was pretty cool. I managed to kill him. I played an elementalist, which is kind of what I'm hoping to play, an Asuran elementalist. Really fun. Some of the skills, man. If you go lightning and pick the right utility skills, you can just zap around everywhere. You get this amazing blink skill that's like on a minute cooldown, and you can just zap around the place. You get, if you're wielding dual daggers, you get a skill called Ride the Lightning, which is obviously an homage to a Guild Wars 1 skill. And, oh man, Ride the Lightning is just amazing. You just turn into this little spark and just fly at people and just bang, you do so much damage when you get to them. It's fantastic. So that's what I played. Then I went away. It took me a long time to pluck up the courage to actually speak to Colin, but when I did, we had a bit of a nice chat. That was when I tried to do the Fraps thing. There was another thing I was trying to do with the Fraps. I didn't want to just do generic walking around footage as well. This is kind of where it becomes a big kicker, where I didn't get any content. Colin had talked about in a previous interview about how there is a big boss like Tequatl, or maybe a bit, not maybe at that band, maybe like the starting bosses that you fight, but there is another big boss in the demo. It's just that nobody's seen it yet, and nobody's managed to film it yet. So I'm sitting there yesterday thinking, oh my god, I have to get footage of this. We're going to do this. So I spoke to him, and basically he explained to do it, you need to push a really long event chain in the Norn starter area. And I'm like, okay. But he said to get to that event chain, it's about a level 8 event. And alone, there's no way I'd be able to do it. So really, there's only 2 ways you're going to be able to do it. One with a lot of ArenaNet staff, or 2 if you get a fair bit of time. So what we decided to do was me and my brother would queue up again. And we'd both use our 40 minutes trying to push this event chain along. And I was hopefully going to be able to film it as well. So in the second demo, when I got through to that, obviously all the filming fell apart, and I didn't manage to film the super big boss, and I didn't manage to... Oh, an ancient coffer. This is to do with a quest, which I completely forgot to get. And I didn't manage to film it, but it was quite interesting because when I did manage to play that demo, I was trying to level up to get to this place. But it turns out to get to this event, there's this big like ice lake, and in the middle of the lake there's a house in the middle of it, and that's where the event chain is. But to get to the lake, you have to go through like this barricaded pathway, and it's barricaded by these really powerful sons of Svarnir. And this is the problem. So you've got to go do loads of events, level up high enough to get through to get to the house on the lake. I also had another really cool idea that if I'd managed to film, I would have gone through with, and that would have been have my brother play the first bit, level up, and try and push the event chain a bit, and then I was going to go and try and nab Colin and get him to play my demo, so I'd actually have frapsed footage of Colin Johansson playing, trying to like speed rush through to actually get to this event, which I thought would have been really cool, because that would have been brilliant for new people who didn't know anything about the game, because, you know, I could have talked about what he was doing, or we could have even recorded his commentary while he was going, and it would have been great for people who already know a lot, because nobody's seen this, and, you know, who better to actually try and push there and get to it in the demo than him. But it all fell through, and yeah, and I didn't really do that well, I don't think, because when I was playing the second demo, I was just a bit bummed out about the fact that, you know, these devs kind of thought that I was being a bit of a troublemaker, and it had fallen through. So there you go, guys. That's my story. Eurogamer was awesome. Don't get me wrong. The game was awesome. There were very cool little things going on. I could have talked at length if I actually had the footage in front of me and doing sort of post-commentary, which is what I was hoping to do. I was going to do, like, release it with just the audio, because I know how important that is, and then I was going to release a version with me talking over it as well. But yeah, so there you go. I guess we'll learn more about what I think about Guild Wars 2 and all the cool stuff when the beta comes. I probably won't get into closed beta, so that might not be till the new year. But this is just the way it goes sometimes. So I hope you enjoyed this very weird episode. I didn't do any quests, as it seems. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else really that I had to say. I did play some other games, but, you know, that's not really... neither here nor there. So yeah, I guess that's it, guys. I will see you. Eye of the North will be continuing tomorrow, as it happens, since we've now finished Fissure of Woe in the Underworld. We'll be going full steam ahead. The other series I was talking about maybe doing, I may as well mention it here. That was going to be a pre-searing, going back to pre-searing, because so many of you had asked for it. I was going to be playing on the mysterious hero you guys saw in my previous series, that Casey Whitedale character, and I was going to be playing the profession that you guys all recommended. But it has occurred to me that time's getting on, and I should probably go ahead with Eye of the North. That may happen eventually, pre-searing, but I don't think... I think I should probably prioritise myself a little bit better and try something else. So we'll be going straight back to Eye of the North. I think that'll make a lot of you happy anyway, because Eye of the North's kind of been on hold. For me, I haven't filmed Eye of the North for ages. I didn't film Eye of the North since before I even filmed all of the God Realm stuff. So just put that in your pipe and smoke it. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to stop rambling. I have no idea how long this video is, because I don't have dual monitors up. But there you go. I hope you guys, if you went to Eurogamer, had a lot of fun. I saw a lot of people there that I kind of thought, do I know you from Guru or not? But yeah. So yeah, that's it. God, I've been rambling so much. I wonder how many of you have switched off already. But yeah, there you go. I will see you guys tomorrow for Eye of the North. Have a wonderful day. Take care, guys.